What's up guys, Syiler here, and we are back with another Syi-Solos, returning to Mogu'shan Vault's 10-man, and this time we're onto the second boss, Feng. Now this place was pretty damn difficult, probably the fight that I had the most issue with. I wiped like 3 or 4 times on it just to figure out how I was going to do the mechanics. And that's because there's a lot of tank swap mechanics, and there's even an item the tank's meant to pick up, which helps during the fight. Each phase has like an item that you're meant to use. Like an extraction button, I guess you'd call it. But as we're on our own, we don't get that luxury. So he has 3 phases in normal. The first is this kind of lightning phase. He'll have 2 fist weapons. He'll do like a frontal cone lightning fist thing, and it'll basically be a short cast, and when he finishes the cast right now, you'll see this kind of like spark go forward in a frontal direction, and you can actually avoid it just by moving to the side when he starts casting it. You have enough time. You see me fail a couple of times, but he also does this what's it called? The epic center, and that causes you to take damage. I believe it's the closer you are to him, so I just kind of ran away. And it also stops you from dealing physical damage to him. You miss with all your physical spells, so casting spells should work fine. As far as I know, I'm not a caster, so I'm not too sure. But as far as I know, casting spells do hit, but physical spells don't hit. And he also does a stacking debuff, which you can, if you're getting too many stacks, you can reset the stacks by running to the other side of the room during Epic Center and just kind of kiting him around a little bit until it wears off. The second phase, he'll pick up this pole arm, and this will be like a fire-based phase. He'll put this wildfire spark on you, which will cause you to leave a trail of fire, so you'll want to be consistently moving around when that's happening, so you're not stood in the fire. He also does a stacking buff, which causes his auto attacks to deal fire damage to you, and the more stacks you get, the more this fire damage dot is. So I would really recommend trying to reset that every sort of 4 or 5 stacks. What I do during his phase where he kind of draws in all the fire, when he starts drawing it in, that's when you want to run away and basically kite him around until the stacks wear out, as you see there. So as soon as he does the draw flame, you run away, let the stacks drop off and run back in. You can do that every sort of second draw flame, you should be okay. And this is where I was using the majority of my defensive CDs, as the fire debuff does really start to hurt. So you see me use my wolves, you see me use Shaman Rage pretty much off cooldown. I stick on to Astral Shift though, but yeah, it's not too bad. I pop Lust in the beginning just so I can get as much damage off in the fight as possible. But the first phase isn't too bad, so what you could potentially do is save cooldowns for second or third phase, as those are the ones that you're going to have the most issue with. And the first phase, just kind of go through it as normal. The stacking debuff does hurt in the first phase, but it isn't quite as bad as the second phase. So if you are having issues, I would recommend definitely saving your aggressive CDs, your cooldowns, until the second or third phase, as that's where you're going to have the most issues. The third phase, he'll go and pick up a staff. And once again, he's going to do a stacking debuff on you, which really hurts. He also does he puts like a ring on you, which causes you to deal AoE damage to anyone nearby, but as we're on our own, we don't really need to worry about that one too much. It's mainly the stacking debuff which hurts the most. Arcane Velocity is just kind of like a... You're meant to have a item for this phase that the tank's meant to get. It puts down like a bubble that you're meant to sit in, but it doesn't really deal that much damage, so it isn't too much of an issue. And as you can see, that's the Arcane Resonance. That would normally be what you'd move out of the raid with, but as we're on our own, we don't really need to worry about it too much. Now I've got 3 stacks of Arcane Shock, though I am starting to kind of be dealt a lot of damage, so start making use of Astral Shift, pretty much using my Maelstrom stacks to heal as soon as I've got 4 or 5. And I need to get to the point where I'm trying to reset those arcane stacks, because they're starting to really hurt. So I'll just outrange him, start healing myself up, and I'm going to attempt to reset the stack. So I'll just kind of kite him around, use a movement speed cooldown, and just get as far away as I can as possible, as he does have a kind of short cooldown on his ability to refresh the stacks. So stacks are refreshed, we start healing ourselves up, as the damage should be a lot lower now. And it does get pretty close. As you can see, I'm dipping around sort of 10%, so you can see why I struggled quite a lot in this fight. Once again, tank healing classes should be fine, Blood DKs, Prot Paladins, Brewmaster Monks should be perfectly fine with this. Red Paladins should be okay, most other things are probably going to struggle just because of how much damage gets dished out. But as I said, probably the best tactic is to save your cooldowns for the second or even third phase, as the first phase is the easiest by a large margin. So that would probably be what I do in the future, just to make this fight easier. But yeah, that was a look at Feng, and next boss is the third, and we've got 2 more until we get to Elegon for the Astral Cloud Serpent boss. So thanks for watching, guys. Look out for more Syi-Solos coming very soon. See ya.